Welcome back, dude and dudettes, to another wild episode of Send It Mate. We're here to talk about all things hunting and outdoors. And today, we've got something that'll keep your gear running smoother than a dingo's getaway.
That's right. Our show is brought to you by High Caliber, the gun and knife oil company that knows how to keep your firearms and blades in tip-top shape.
High Caliber is like the secret sauce for hunters, anglers, and outdoorsy folk everywhere. It's like the magic potion that makes your gun and knives happier than a dog with two tails.
You know, guys, I've been using High Caliber oil for a while now, and let me tell you, it's the duck's nuts. My rifle practically sings a lullaby when I take it out hunting.
And speaking of lullabies, ever tried sneaking up on a deer with a squeaky gun? It's a prime way to end up with no venison in the freezer. You'll be hungrier than a vegan at a bacon festival.
Absolutely. But with High Caliber oil, your gun will be quieter than a ninja in moonlight. You'll be stalking your prey with the grace and stealth of a mountain lion.
High Caliber doesn't just keep things quiet, it also prevents rust and corrosion, so you won't find your gear looking like it spent a season at the bottom of a creek.
That's right, and for you knife enthusiasts out there, High Caliber has got you covered too. Your trusty blade will slice through anything smoother than butter on a hot biscuit.
So, folks, don't let your gear become a rusty, squeaky mess. Head on over to highcaliber.com.au and grab a bottle of their oil today.
And if you use the code SENDITMATE at checkout, you'll get a special discount. I say again, use the code SENDITMATE for all your oil slick, stealthy hunting needs.
Thanks to High Caliber, you'll be sending it in style and silence.
So, gear up, oil up, and send it, mate. High Caliber, the ultimate oil for the ultimate hunter.
For the second time, I'm Peppa Pig, cunts. Sorry, love that dude on YouTube. That's fucking hilarious. I'm on a high tonight. We'll starters, welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back, Josh.
Welcome.
Yeah, buddy.
So I'm Josh.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Ryan.
So I'm starting tonight on a rather high note. To be perfectly honest,
Is it because you're not fixed to a toilet bowl tonight?
That's true. That last Wednesday and Thursday were nightmarish. I was crook as a dog. But no, this is actually because earlier on in the week we were talking about doing a podcast around a campfire, and Caleb, in his disgust, said no because
disgust.
The smoke and dust would get to our microphones and ruin them. And look, that's fair enough. We've got to look after our equipment and everything. But I thought it was a bit of karma tonight as we've gone to start the podcast, Caleb's gone to take a sip out of his cool beverage and spilled it all over our soundboard. I'll take the fucking smoke and dust any day.
It was a what the fuck moment because I'm watching it happen in slow motion and both of you were just staring at it for what seemed like a very long time.
Yes, time slowed down.
There was no action. It was like it's ruined now.
Time slowed. I didn't know what to do, and I'm watching this water or this liquid just run down the cracks of one of the volume buttons. I'm like, oh, fuck.
It's fine.
It's funny because Caleb is the one. He's the worst person for that to happen to.
Because he's so conservative.
Yeah, and hates semis.
I'm not perfect, all right? I'm not perfect. I make mistakes too. I just have a better track record than you
So now
two.
Camp Mum's a little bit grumpy because he fucked up.
For all our listeners, to give you like to paint
Do you know
a
what though?
picture-
Because fucking you two making a fucking blue is just run of the mill. But when I make a blue, it's the fucking end of the world.
Yes, because you're so like, oh, safety never takes a holiday. And so when it happens to you, I'm like, yeah, that's karma, motherfucker.
Whatever. I'm not perfect. I made a mistake. I knocked a beer over.
It's
move
like
on.
when your mum tells you to move your drink away from the edge of the table because you'll spill it, and then she turns around and fucking knocks her bottle of wine over.
Yeah, 100%.
To be fair, I don't usually drink a beer. We drink out of a cup generally.
Sippy
That's-
cup is what you need
That's
now.
true.
So
But-
I just wasn't used to that extra height. It's
just-
all muscle memory when I'm using these buttons, mate. Come on. Anyone else wants to volunteer to fucking use these buttons, go for it.
No, this podcast doesn't happen without you.
I don't know what you're talking
Thank you.
about. Well, I
Now we're getting to the truth.
push buttons every podcast. What are you talking about?
Oh, shit.
The non-funny jokes button.
No, that was fucking hilarious,
Fucking
actually.
comedian. Cheer up, camp mum.
That's all right. I'll edit it out later.
Oh, so you think he's got all the power, really, doesn't he?
I literally do.
Yeah.
I actually took one of your jokes out of the last podcast we recorded, Ryan, because it was it just made no sense.
Which one?
The last one we recorded with Tegan.
I made a lot of jokes that make no sense, but they're funny to me. I laugh on the inside.
Actually,
and
no,
the
you
outside.
made a joke in slightly poor taste, and Tegan, to her credit, she didn't react, and that was probably the indicator to me that it just didn't.
I don't remember that. Although I did progressive. Was it like sort of towards the back end of the podcast?
It was a joke about her brother being a serial killer.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it made no sense. And then
I don't even
you
remember
actually
that.
Were
laughed.
you drunk?
You laughed.
Probably,
You
yeah.
actually laughed awkwardly afterwards, and like that was a joke. And I'm like, well, then.
Oh
we'll
no, I
just-
do remember that.
we'll
That
just
was
take
a
it
very
out.
poor taste on
Yeah,
my part.
no, it was terrible.
It just spills out. The humor has no filter. It just I'm a funny guy. I naturally just am like that. So to change my common state is hard to do.
Oh, God.
I mean, you weren't there, Josh, because you were glued to a toilet bowl, but it wasn't funny. So
Oi, dead set. That I don't get sick that often, and I was hugging this toilet bowl. And actually, it wasn't until the weekend where a mate's missus, who's a nurse, was like, "Oh, that's one of the signs and symptoms of COVID." And I'm like,
What?
"Bro, no."
hugging a toilet bowl.
Well, vomiting and things like that. I didn't know. Like she asked, she said, "Oh, did you have a sore throat or anything like that?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "Oh, well, that is one of the symptoms, being sick and
What
nausea."
isn't a symptom of COVID? Because I've seen lots of things that are like, oh, you got a headache, you got sore eyes, you got a sore nose, sore throat,
You got a
throwing
splinter.
up.
COVID.
Yeah, that's right. It's a respiratory infection, isn't it? So
I don't know. None of us
Why-
are doctors, so I don't know.
Loss of smell, loss of
Right.
taste, loss of.
yeah, that's a common one. Loss of taste.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
It's-
over it.
Yeah, it's weird. But it was concerning after, but whilst I was not well, it was terrible. I actually rang you, Caleb, probably about an hour before it really hit me bad. Like I was still sort of functional when I rang you and said, look, mate, I may make it tonight. I may not. And then an hour later, nah,
Well,
it was all over.
How sick?
You're
are-
like, see how I go in half an hour. And then I'm like, all right, cool. And then you're like, talk to you in an hour. I'm like, how do we go from half an hour to an hour?
Yeah, nah, it was that bad actually. I can't even describe it. I felt real crook, like I was going to throw up, and I had a watery mouth for hours. And I went and laid down thinking, oh, I'll have a nap and sleep it off. Couldn't sleep. It just thought the pains got worse, and then all of a sudden, just boom, my body went into like a sweat, and then I vomited. And after I vomited, I was like, oh, that feel. You know, when after you vomit, you're like, oh, that's better.
This just sounds like
tell
my
the truth.
Saturday night.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, well,
You had your COVID vaccine.
yeah.
Side effects.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I'd be harping on about that if that was the truth.
yeah.
But,
Now you're dyslexic because of the vaccine.
Well,
I wish
have you spoken to anyone about side effects?
about dyslexia.
We could not have orchestrated that sentence any better. I said the word wrong. Wow. Have you spoken to anyone about the side effects of having the vaccine? Because I have this week.
I've spoken to many people, but do
People
they
who've
know
had-
what they're talking about?
People
Probably
who
not.
have had the vaccine and the side effects they experienced.
No, not really.
Because I spoke to someone who was 50 this week who had their first jab, and they asked a mate of theirs and said, what can I expect for a side effect? And his mate said to him, about 9 hours in, I got the shakes and the sweats and like fever type symptoms, like terrible for like a couple of hours, and that was okay. And then this guy that I was speaking to, he went and got his jab. He had the exact same thing after 9 hours.
Really?
Right. And then someone I know got it this week and fucking the same thing.
Did you get it?
Oh, no.
Oh.
Someone I know got it this week. The exact same thing.
Yeah, look, I don't think that putting something that crazy in your body's definitely going to have a reaction.
Oh, your body, of course it is, because the whole purpose is for your body to have a reaction. That's like if having symptoms and then your body, like by reaction, I mean your body's going to react to having the part of the, I don't know, I can't remember what the fuck it is they inject into you, but the whole point of it is to trigger your defense systems and your T cells and all that sort of shit to do what they need to do. So if they don't move quick enough, then you're going to have symptoms.
Yeah, look, I just don't think. I'm not anti-vax or anything like that. It's weird though because I did learn this week that the RNMA strand only lasts for like 72 hours.
Yeah,
and then it's dead. It's gone.
Well, they're not injecting you with a complete version of the virus.
I mean, I asked that question. I didn't want to go down a COVID rabbit hole again. I was actually contacted by Dr. Tim this week, and he suggested that we have a medical opinion weekly on this show.
Really?
Just to verify the bullshit we're talking about.
That's not bad.
Because doctors get paid on the slide.
Yeah, they have an agenda. Well, there's got to be some sort of an agenda, I imagine.
No offense, Tim, but you're my brother, so yeah. Get away with it.
What Dr. Tim say?
Oh, he just strongly suggested we needed a medical opinion to
He's very politely telling us we're full of shit.
confirm or deny some of the. But to be fair, we did put a disclaimer into what we were saying the other week when we were talking about COVID.
I did multiple times say none of us are doctors.
No.
Yep. So we were talking about ivermectin.
Ivermectin.
What do I say? Yeah, I say it wrong.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Ivermectin
Yeah.
is bullshit.
No, the effect that they're saying it has on COVID.
Like, as in the good effect, like the.
Have you read the studies that they're using to back up?
I don't want to get through this because we literally had this conversation.
Oh, it just shits me. It shits me that people are so fucking stupid that they can't do their own background research.
Ryan is the only one who can interpret data in the whole world.
Not the whole world, just this room.
Fuck you.
You know what they
I don't
say?
give a shit to
if
look
you're the
at it.
smartest man in the room, you're in the wrong room.
I didn't say I was the smartest man in the room. I said I was the one who's most capable of analysing data.
That was the sound of me dropping the mic. I'm going. So,
Yeah.
Nah, look, yeah. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what's right and wrong. It's all confusing.
Everyone needs to form their own opinion. I just think an educated opinion is probably, well, as educated as you can possibly be.
I did come to the conclusion actually this week that, look, 2 years since the vaccines come out, and so there's some longevity in the vaccine in giving it 2 years. So I'm sort of like even more inclined to have it, have the vaccine.
What? What do you mean 2 years since the vaccines come out?
Well, it's been 2 years, so there's 2 years of research
in Josh years.
Of COVID vaccine?
The vaccine, yeah, 2 years.
That hasn't been, no.
Yep. Yeah, 2 years
maybe
since coming out. I think it was, what is it?
How could it be 2
not
years?
4
That
years.
would imply that they've developed a vaccine at the same time.
I was
fucking
reading
COVID
somewhere
came out.
this week that it had been like 2 years since it come out. It's had time to have some sort of longevity.
Maybe 2 years since the virus was discovered?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it was saying that the vaccine
So you're going to go get the jab
been
now,
around
are
for
you?
2 years. No, I just said like, oh, well, that kind of makes sense. Look, it's been around for a while. You know, no one's growing a fucking third nipple or anything. Like, yeah, all right, cool. The only thing that I query is actually reproductive, like the effects on any reproductive sort of stuff it has.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah, that's true. Anyway,
Well,
let's
Speaking of-
how do we segue from, reproduction to who's the favourite?
well some of us should have been born and some of us should. I don't know. Anyway, we'll get on to what our POI is this week, which is our poll results about who's the favourite centre-mate podcaster. Now, the results, I'm going to say, are very unclear.
I want to say that I just want to point out that, one, you're in control of what you posted, and the photos of both Ryan and I were not the best, where you framed yourself very well for your photo that you put up, and I believe that was definitely a ploy to get more
Do you know
votes.
what? I would
It's
disagree.
about-
I
no.
disagree with that statement wholly.
Thank you.
I think that what Caleb's done is captured the essence of what we're representing.
No, you look like a bag of dog shit lit on the front porch.
Ryan
man.
looks like
I looked at that every day.
Ryan looks like
Look
excited
at me.
Ryan.
Look at me. This is. Look at my face.
No.
I look exactly like I.
No,
do
he
that
could have
photo.
got some of your frame in and some of your
Oh,
size.
don't get me
height.
wrong. There's pictures that he could have used that would be
Yeah,
like
flattering.
But then all the ladies would they'd vote for me. So he's not gonna.
I don't have them in my camera roll.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, how do I represent us? I'm like, well, I was in a business shirt. You had your fucking nipple out. And Ryan was just happy-go-lucky Ryan having just shot a deer.
Yeah, I think that reflected quite.
So
There's
I'm
a
like,
generalization of
That's a fair reflection. We're asking people to vote on who they like on the podcast. Now, the results,
yes.
Okay, here we
right?
go.
So,
Here we go. Hang on. I've also got a theory about the results, but go on. All right, get it out there.
now,
Yeah.
to start the poll, I
Yeah.
put a picture of all three of us and I asked
Ugh.
people to write
Ugh.
who their favourite was.
Mhm.
And in that instance, I have the most votes.
And most of the people commenting are you, your missus, and people that you know.
No,
all three votes go to Caleb.
Shout out to all the people who bothered to write an answer because you're clearly the educated people who can be fucked actually writing a word,
God.
right? So
You all
thank
spelled
you.
his name wrong, by the way. It's Callum. not Caleb.
No. And special shout out to the farmer's wife who ironically wrote Callum.
Yes, that was classic.
She's clearly been
Yeah.
listening. All right.
Yeah.
Either that or it's like her autocorrect.
So I won that, right? But
Nah,
then,
fuck
No,
off.
fuck off. I won that. But then when we did the two-party preferred, Josh versus Caleb, Josh versus Ryan, Caleb versus Ryan, you won.
Oh.
You won both of your rounds,
Oh.
right? You beat me, you beat Ryan. Right? So you, by that, were the favourite.
Yeah. Look,
What you're forgetting about is the Facebook poll that also concurrently ran at the same time, which I won in a landslide.
which I don't.
Jesus.
I don't go on
What?
Facebook.
Do you know what? I need to. Can you please send me copies of the data that you've just collected so I can analyze?
I can send
it?
you copies.
And I believe it was once again, it was probably most of the people you knew, and you
So-
got them to
No,
vote for you.
because there's not actually that many
How
people
many?
I know.
How many people voted on Facebook?
2, Caleb and his
Because if
missus.
you say like I cleaned up in a landslide of 85% of the vote out of 4 people.
How you getting 85% out of 4 people?
75% out of 4 people. Fine.
Cool, thank you. And this is the reason that I'm in charge.
This is
So-
this is the reason why.
No. Look, so fair play to Josh. He's won. He's the favourite. All right,
Or just a better
Josh is
looking.
the favourite.
Do you know what? I was quietly confident that I would lose this whole thing.
Overachiever.
Yeah, I'm like, yep, no, I'm definitely not going to win any of that. Just
that's
because I'm the loud, inappropriate guy that breaks up all of the things that everyone's listening to that are very interesting with inappropriate jokes.
That's good. It's good dynamic.
Nah, it is great. And thank you very much to everyone who participated in the poll. So we actually had a lot of people get on board with that, and it was great.
It was a good bit of fun.
It was great fun. And how many votes did the floorboards get?
There's a few votes for the fun.
For those playing at home that didn't actually see it, there was because Caleb's put up 3 pictures of us, but then there's a 4th one that's got the text and what to do. And he said, "What did you take a picture of the floor at your house?"
Yeah, because like the way that Instagram works, you had to have a 4th picture. So I just took a photo of the floor and put the
the floorboards got votes.
You should have put your dog up or something like that, man.
nah, because he would have won.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
100%.
It's a cute little dog. Anyway, thank you to everyone who voted. And look, I think a poll. What I wanted to do was put a poll with 3 options, but Instagram doesn't let you do that. So
Yeah,
Damn you, Instagram.
down by the man.
Fix your algorithm.
Oh, well.
All
what do you
right,
do?
let's move on. So this week for our topic, this is something that we all have come to learn to know as a thing, and that is instant gratification.
Yeah.
Do we all?
Yes,
Oh,
we
that's
do.
we're like spearheading the generations of instant gratification, aren't we?
I'm pretty sure we are, because our parents work like fucking dogs.
They had to earn it.
We just coasted. Our generation just coasted off of their success.
Do you know what? Just a little bit of a side note on the topic of today. I was watching normal TV for the first time in a very long time the other day.
What do you usually watch? Spanish TV?
No, like free to air TV, not Netflix, not an app, like
okay.
free to air.
Okay, thank
I know one watches free to air.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. And I was genuinely getting angry at the amount of ads that were coming. Because it'd be like 7 minutes of the show and then 10 minutes of ads. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
It's atrocious,
Yeah.
man.
Why? Why are they not at the beginning and the end of what I'm watching?
Yeah.
It dawned on me that it's a dying like that in 5 to 10 years' time. I don't see how free to air, because free to air is going to app form now. And you get your ads at the beginning.
Catch up.
Catch up, whatever the fuck you call it, whatever the kids call it these days. But free to air TV is going to die. There's no way that can be generating any money for them anymore.
Yeah, look, I
Why
agree,
there's so
man.
many ads.
And this is funny that you mentioned that
point.
because since working, like being away down south, I didn't have any reception to have like Netflix or anything like that. So I was just watching free to air, and it was quite funny. I never turn like the TV off to go to sleep. Like I always have it running, and free to air there was nothing on worth watching that I would turn the television
Did you
off.
try SBS?
I tried everything, mate, and SBS isn't even what it used to be.
Oh, that's disappointing.
No, it definitely isn't.
No.
Definitely isn't.
Do you like just get up at 1:30 every morning just to check, keep updated with?
No. I was just reminiscing about SBS World Movies as a teenager.
Yeah,
Because
Caleb's Pornhub.
12:30 every night.
Caleb's Pornhub.
come on, as of what, like 14, 15-year-old, you're not like checking the TV guide, SBS World Movies.
Well,
What's
yeah.
the rating? MASN. Okay, yep, there'll be some boobs. Cool.
And if it's a foreign film and it's got a higher rating on it, you know for sure there's a sex scene in it. If there's subtitles, tits.
Yes.
That's how it works. That's the algorithm.
Nah, look, back then you had to like actually go up to the TV to turn it on and change the channel. It was too much effort. I just went to bed.
I'm sorry, did you not have a remote?
Nah, not back then.
Were you born,
Were you born in
the
1940?
60s?
What the
No,
fuck?
we just had old TVs.
Ah,
Fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, I still remember it. You're like,
Yeah, I used to have one of those.
wow.
you go like, yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that were done differently, even in our generation, which isn't that old.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's funny that now I think the main difference that I've noticed is that whole instant gratification or constant feed of gratification, where whatever it is that you're consuming in the sense of watching or taking in is a constant stream now. Like everything's a stream. There's no breakup where it used to be the ads would be like, okay, it's an ad, and then I remember actually talking to my family during the ad breaks and going and doing stuff. And
Like your parents would mute it as well.
yeah, you'd mute the ads and then you'd actually have interaction with other people. But now it's just like a constant, and you can watch days of TV without even talking to anyone else being in the same room as them.
Yeah, look, there's actually a show on Netflix about this, surprisingly. And it's basically goes on about how that social media and all of these like
Social experiment.
yeah, that's it. And all these like video platforms or whatever, and your online TV, how they're designed to just keep you watching like consistently.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over again. And how many times have you actually sat there, you've gone down and watched a show on, say, like on pay TV or something like that, and you're like, I'll watch one episode, then I'll go to bed. 4 episodes later, you're like, one more.
Yeah.
And then it's like fucking 1 o'clock in the morning.
You have to make an effort to stop whatever it is that you're engaging in instead of it doing it for you.
Well, some
See-
people have self-control.
So, no, because you don't. You do exactly the same thing. This is actually funny. This, like, when I watched this show, I then I sort of started reading into it, and I learned about blue light, and I didn't know anything about blue light up until this point. And your phone has this blue light on it. It's like a true white light, but it actually engages your brain differently as a like dull, warm light. And since turning that off, my phone usage of an evening went down dramatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True fact.
Yeah, dead set. Because like it would the having the blue light on would actually keep me awake longer, and then turning it off, yeah, just didn't engage the brain as much. And
No, it's your eyes
It's true.
and your brain register it. So when the sun's up, your
be weird.
body and your eyes register it as being daylight, be active, all that sort of shit. And your phone, your brain recognizes that as the sun being up. So it fucks with your ability. Well, for most people, like generally speaking,
Yeah,
for
I
you
know.
it may not.
Yeah, I know all about this shit, but like,
Yeah.
it doesn't affect me.
But that's if it doesn't affect you, then kudos. Like I'm exactly the same. So if I struggle, I'll have to sleep. I have to turn my phone off. But reading, so they reckon that if you put your phone down and read a couple of pages, it flicks your brain back. So if for those playing at home, give that a crack. If you're playing on your phone all night,
that
anyway,
made no sense.
reading a book. So instead of looking at a screen like a digital image which has blue light on it, you put that down and you pick up a book, which is an object. Your eyes focus to the ambient light that's in the room. And,
I get you. Yeah,
and it's sort of, your brain changes from being, it's daytime and we're going to be up, we're going to do shit and we're super fucking tired, but it doesn't make sense to go to sleep because the sun's up. To, okay, now we're winding down.
Yeah, okay, I get you now. Yeah. That's and like for you and I, obviously we notice this a lot more than Caleb. Like it's not everyone isn't affected by it. Like Caleb can drink coffee at fucking right before he goes to bed. I've actually over the years, I don't know, it's weird. Like even just drinking coffee after 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll have a worse night.
Soft.
It's fucking weird, man.
Nah.
I used to own a fucking cafe as well and would drink coffee till like fucking
You used to
midnight.
you might as well have just had a drip going straight to your veins with coffee. Well,
I'm
the same as
definitely
Caleb.
I'm definitely weird though. Like if I feel like I haven't used my brain, like I've just vegged out for the night, I'll like do something that engages my brain before I go to sleep, and I'll go straight to sleep. So I don't know.
Like
I
do a puzzle.
stimulation before
The old
sleep for me
Sudoku?
works in any way.
Dude, I sleep straight after I
See,
come.
I'm gonna. I think everyone does.
I'm like, yep, I'm done. Wipe.
Yeah.
But no, like I can be on my
Sleep.
phone, I can do whatever, and I'll just still put my head on the pillow and go straight to sleep.
See, I gotta ask you one question. Do you find that since transferring to a labour-intensive job, you now have less energy, mentally and physically, of an evening for those stimulating activities?
Are you
What are you
asking,
referring to now?
Are you asking if Caleb's too tired to fuck when he comes home?
Never.
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 You're not working hard enough, motherfucker. Less lunch, more work.
Like there's been a couple of days when I've genuinely been physically exhausted.
Oh, so there you go. Never is not really.
and
then
I've
you're just starfish.
gone to bed at 10:30 at night.
Yeah, so never's not really never. You're actually being truthful.
But if an opportunity presented itself prior to 10:30, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Dude, if like I've been on, like haven't slept. I did a pull to 36-hour shift once, then went home and just fapped for like half an hour.
Dude, there's a reserve tank.
there
There
is
is a
definitely a
fucking
reserve
reserve tank
tank.
of energy for sexual activity.
I think
Yeah.
he's just not working hard enough, eh?
I mean, it's kind of sad that story ended in me jerking off and not actually having sex. But yeah.
For half an hour as well. Jeez, man.
Yeah, man. Well, because once you're committed, you don't want to just.
You know what you need to do? You need to turn the blue light on.
I ain't
your
no
phone.
quitter.
Then it's not going to be half an hour.
There's
Yeah.
your problem. You're having a fap with your blue light on.
No, I use a blue light filter.
I don't know. Was this your topic?
No, but it is now.
Yeah, we digress.
No, good topic breakdown.
Anyway, nice segue.
Fuck.
Wow.
No, well, my take on instant gratification is more of a switch to.
By the way, I just genuinely thought you'd seamlessly transitioned into your topic then.
Nah, it would have been great though.
You should have just ended then and been like, yeah, I'm done.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just fucked
But
yourself.
it's
then.
not. It's not instant
Again.
though, is it? It's. Oh fuck! It depends on the time.
I do like instant gratification.
It is like you
We'll
get
get
that.
to that,
You
settle
get that
down.
endorphin
Yeah, I know you.
dump.
I know exactly your your fucking topic, mate. You're like, I fucking, lay the bricks and work hard, and yeah, Josh is just fucking, yeah. I know exactly
What? What are you talking about?
I just know.
Do you know
where
what I'm
you're
not
going.
getting right now? Instant gratification. You're not making fucking sense.
I know where you're going to go with your topic. It's just going to be like this fucking massive dig.
Yeah, right.
I know.
Maybe onto something.
Yeah. Yeah.
My take on this is the perception of what hunters are, which we've touched on before, and the misconception.
Well done. You just captured a yawn on the podcast.
Well, thanks, man.
Sorry, dude.
Are we boring you that much, Josh?
That's it. This fucking this waiting is horse shit.
Right.
Sorry.
And what I'm going to do there is just include that as part of my topic.
Yeah, oh, fuck
He's not
off.
getting instant gratification, so he's
Go on.
fucking yawning.
Go on,
Keep going, Ryan.
hunters.
So the perception of instant gratification that is a stereotype that hunters have. So
Sorry, go on.
excuse me.
I was trying not to yawn again, and it come out as a giggle.
Do you need a minute? Do you need a lap?
Yeah, probably. Go on.
What? I'm trying not
Go
to
out of the
yawn,
room, come back
and
in
it
again.
came out as a giggle. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you, 12?
Pretty much. I'm okay with that.
Is that
Go on.
because you have instant gratification every night?
Oh, hell's yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm talking about the idea that the hunt is just in pulling the trigger. What the? Wow. I'm fucking done. I'm done.
Josh has got the giggles so bad.
What is your problem?
So it's been a long night. So pulling the trigger.
So,
Now that just sounds funny.
wow. Anyway, what I'm talking about is the idea that hunters get their instant gratification out of killing something straight away. And how wrong that is. But
It's not instant.
are you holding
No,
a giggle in so hard that you're crying right now? You have tears coming out of your eyes, Josh.
Yeah, look, yeah. I can't even look at you right now because I'm just going to laugh.
All right. Well,
No,
Hang on.
I get what you mean, though.
how is that? Okay, so you're saying it's a
So-
perception that hunters get instant gratification
Yeah, so
by pulling the trigger and
killing something, and that's what hunting is.
But we all know
Yes.
in this room, and probably the majority of our listeners, that it's not an instant thing. There's a whole process and a journey leading up to pulling
Yes.
the trigger.
And
So what I
after.
want to talk about is what it takes to get to that point and then what happens after that. So this is probably a topic geared more towards people that haven't got a great deal of experience in going out and hunting for game in the sense of being a freezer filler.
So are you saying what we're trying to do here is teach people that hunting is not just going out and pulling the trigger willy-nilly?
Correct. So
See-
the instant, like that's the perception that a hunter gets instant gratification from just going out, shooting something, then coming back, which is a misconception that people that don't have any idea about what the sport is about have.
I explain this a lot to people, actually, when I talk about hunting. I'm like, oh, you just don't go out bush and walk into a fucking field, shoot something, walk home, sink 20 fucking cans and you're done. Like,
Yeah.
it's not that easy.
There's
Sometimes you go out and there's nothing there and you've just done like 30 Ks of fucking hard yakka.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is a lot of the people that I've spoken to about. I'm very open. I just tell people that I'm a hunter. So I've had a couple of conversations, a great deal of conversations with people that aren't and haven't had any exposure at all to what it is other than the bullshit that they see on the media and Facebook. And it is, if you say you're a hunter and instantly it goes to, oh, so you go for a drive, you walk out 100 meters, you shoot something, and then you get back in your car and you go home.
Or you just shoot like 50 fucking things and then
Like an absolute fucking yippee. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
don't animals come to your back doorstep and you just shoot them from
Yeah.
your couch?
Yeah.
I thought that's how it
Something
happened.
like that.
I think that persona is getting less and less with the amount of like social platforms and media that we have out there and the public figures that are
It goes two ways.
Doing
I think
a good
it's
job.
like, I think people that are in the middle ground are becoming less. So you having people that have being exposed to information and taking it in and seeing and understanding that it's people that actually know what they're talking about and absorbing the information and then swinging into the favor of being aligned with the truth.
Yeah.
And then you've got people that are absorbing the opposite and the
Yeah.
bullshit and swinging the other way. The people that stay in the middle is a lot less. So if you can think of it being on a spectrum, I think that there's still a stupid amount of people that are on the wrong side and less people that have an idea of what the reality is. So I think a lot of it is about people. It used to be people I'd have a conversation with, and because they haven't been exposed to any information, they just don't really have an opinion on it. Whereas now, because guns is big, no matter where you go, like the topic of guns, and it's always a negative topic that people talk about, and hunting is obviously guns. You can hunt with a bow, you can hunt with a knife, you can hunt with a fucking spear, but people associate with guns, and so it sort of piggybacks on that same negative connotation. So I think that the division is greater than what it was, whereas previously you probably had a better chance of delivering true information, having someone absorb it. Whereas previously, on the day to day, people have this exposure to a negative connotation with guns, and then hunting in turn with that. So it makes it difficult.
Yeah, it definitely does.
But you got to have a person who's open minded that you're speaking to. Well, not necessarily open minded, but willing to listen to what you're saying. Because if you're talking to someone who is anti, so a better way of putting it is there's so many topics and subjects wrapped into one by association with hunting. So you've got hunting, and then you got vegans and vegetarians, and then you got the conservationists, and then you've got the gun laws, and all that stuff is sort of wrapped up into a bundle. And there's a huge misconception and generalization that I feel is given to people that are associated with the positive sides of that. And that instant gratification misconception in what we just spoke about, going out and shooting something just randomly and then fucking off, like that is a concept that this whole idea of being a brutal animal killer is built upon. These people don't understand that it's something that actually benefits the environment. It's a long term. It's hard work.
Yeah.
It's not something that you just jump on and then go buy a gun and then 2 days later you're all good.
Well, average Joe on the street who doesn't hunt, doesn't own a gun, isn't a vegan, do you think they are inclined to have an issue with a hunter or a vegan more?
That's a very good question. And I would say that they're more inclined to have an issue with a hunter more than a vegan.
I reckon
So-
it's 50-50.
I think they're more likely to have a problem with a vegan
I reckon.
because vegans are out there protesting and being in people's faces and
Actually, that's a
creating
fair
a
point.
nuisance
Well,
and blocking streets and chaining themselves to fucking
is it
farm machinery.
vegans or is it like activists that you're talking about that are being sort of slotted in with vegans?
Well, yeah, because people associate vegans with the extremists. There's plenty of vegans out there who are reasonable people. They've just made a lifestyle choice to not eat meat. But then there's people who automatically the word vegan with the extreme
That's a very fair
Vegans
point.
who are-
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
versus hunters. I don't really think what would be the extremists of hunters out there.
Well, I don't think there is any like anything comparable
But the ones that cop the most flack are probably the trophy hunters that are like big game in Africa.
And even then, like trophy hunters themselves, they sort of steer clear of social media these days for fear of reprisal.
That's where I think left and right of arc, like extremist vegans would be seen as more of a nuisance than
I think it's a 50-50 only because of the stigma that's just swayed over, the many, many years of hunting, and the fact that society is sort of leaning towards this more emotional side of things, and fucking I own a dog, it's got feelings, so this plant must have feelings as well, that side of things. So I think it'd be 50-50. And I actually think if you ask the question or pose both questions to the average Joe Blow, do you like a vegan? No. Do you like a hunter? No. I think it would be pretty 50-50.
But if you did two-party preferred.
Caleb would win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's an interesting debate.
It is. I think things will change for hunting. Now we have like social media and things like this, and more people are cropping up in Australia and hunting and sharing it more with the public. So education will become a bit more broader.
I think because you've often spoken about your belief that it will become broadly accepted more so than what it is now. And I've often spoken against that. But I'm starting to swing around to agree with you. Just out of the exposure that we've had through Send It Mate with other groups and people that are on the similar sort of trajectory as us that are doing a similar thing where we want to build a community, we want to educate people, we're having a positive exposure to the sport of hunting and rifles and shooting and outdoors and four-wheel driving and all that sort of stuff. And there's a lot of things. There's a lot of like podcasts and websites and stuff that didn't exist 10 years ago.
Yeah, man.
It's quite phenomenal how there's been people that have much got the same sort of mindset as ourselves and want to just have the information out there and at your fingertips as well. Like YouTube is off your tits with stuff as well. There's it's just
Has
crazy.
Ryan just discovered YouTube?
No, but I've never really sort of sat down.
Graduated from Pornhub.
Well, I thought that was just what the internet was, man.
Also, just as a side note, there was like a brief time where nudity was okay on YouTube and then it got shut down again.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh, well.
It's like the floodgates got opened and then it got shut down. Anyway.
Caleb, that's your topic of expertise. So,
what, titties?
Nudity.
Or nudity?
I mean,
why is that Caleb's topic of expertise?
Well, it's because it gives him instant gratification.
Not instant. It's been a 34-year journey, mate.
It's
instant gratification.
I'm never gratified fully.
he's still waiting for that ultimate experience.
I'm going to tell you, misses that. I'll be like, yep, Caleb's never satisfied.
Hey, Caleb said you're a dud root.
I would never say that.
It's in the implication.
And there was a mighty long pause.
There was a mighty long pause.
I just can't believe you'd say something like that, to be honest.
everything.
I'm just staggered that you'd say something like that. I'm in love and I love my darling very much. She pleases me greatly.
Greatly, but not completely.
You got to backpedal on this one, dude.
Look, if you were completely satisfied and you felt like you never had to go there again,
What? As in, you didn't want to come back for more to have the same?
then you would be completely satisfied forever off one experience. But you have a continual
Maybe
need.
you're just not having the right sex.
You have a continual need, so you keep going back for more of the same pleasurable experience. I don't know what you're getting at.
Oh, you have satisfaction in the moment, but then you have to go back to keep having that continued
it builds
satisfaction.
up
But
again.
if you've never been satisfied,
Fully.
All right, so this is a good segue, and I kind of want to hijack and skip Caleb to push Caleb down to the third.
I mean, this
third
is
one.
just proving my point again. So keep going. Yeah,
'cause
you can do that.
Yeah, because of
Do it.
instant gratification.
Exactly. Josh needs his instant gratification.
What I actually wanted to cover was how we are being, you could call it manipulated, or over time we've become accustomed to instant gratification, and I personally break it down to simple things. We have running water now. You go back 140 years ago, you didn't have plumbing. You had to go to your water source that was typically in a local area, get water, bring it back to your house, and then you'd have, 10 buckets filled up, whatever, for the next few days. There's nothing instant about that. That was fucking a whole day's worth of labour for the next few days' worth of water. That's just one little thing. We now have electricity. You don't have to go around and light a candle in every room of your house to fucking see. You flick a switch and suddenly you've got fucking light on in all your house. Then we go one step further. Food. And this is something that I really, really dislike about Australia, and that's our disconnect from food, because we have such an abundance of food here. We have so many restaurants, and it's so abundant, we sort of take it for granted. If you go to any other culture, food is life, and food will bring your entire family and community together. Here, yeah, it might bring your mates around every fucking 2 weeks for a barbie or whatever, but not daily.
Do you know what, just on that, I think, like, anecdotally for me, that's really true, where everything's at a click of a button now.
It is, man. It is.
You can literally have things. I think it's convenience. Is
Uber Eats.
I was talking about this the other day, actually.
Menulog.
Something that I have personally noticed in my life, when we were all at school, we didn't have Google, man. We had to go and look up a dictionary or go to the library and fucking take out a book.
Yeah.
Now
Encyclopedia Britannica.
you whip out your fucking phone and you type it into Google and you got your information in 2 seconds. Can you imagine how quick homework would have been as a kid having Google?
Oh, fuck me.
I'd actually
That would
done
have
the
been-
homework because it would have been done in half an hour.
I don't think
True.
kids do homework now.
Well, they don't need to. The night before, they can just whip out Google and drop 10 things down and you're good.
Yeah. No, I remember actually about a week ago, my phone died, right? So I would spend a lot of time going from site to site. So I use GPS to, whatever. My phone died and I'd use the GPS to get there. And I realized I just followed the little arrow on the screen. I didn't know where the fuck I was. And then I pulled out, luckily I had a street directory in my car, and I pulled that out. And I'm thinking, how many kids these days, not even kids, like people our age, would be fucked if their phone died somewhere?
I actually think we were the last generation, man, to have learn how to use a street directory.
Even just a sense of direction, because when you're following a GPS, you don't actually, your brain doesn't register where you're going.
You're just following the lines.
You're just following the
arrows.
lines. You go, oh, turn right here, turn right here. You don't go, oh, I turned down this road at this time. And
Judging distance is probably getting better because it'd be like 80 metres, turn left. So you start learning 80 metres.
yeah, you know where 80 meters, but then you don't have no idea what 5 kilometers is.
Yeah, no. Short judging distance is probably better.
Yeah.
But, no,
It is a fair point.
I guess what I'm trying to say is we all have our gripes about instant gratification. We're like, oh, kids don't work these days and this and that. Fucking, yeah, okay, whatever. But we've also been conditioned to have instant gratification in our life. And it's only getting worse. Our technology will only get better and make things easier for us and will make us lazier. There was a thing I was reading the other day and how Elon Musk or someone, I don't know who, but someone is wanting to replace labour force with robots.
That's been a thing for years. And it's happening right now.
And look, in industry, it's a thing, certainly with building cars and manufacturing.
Yeah,
That's
automation.
definitely a thing. But I'm talking about just your general labor workforce, like digging trenches and fucking
Yeah.
you know.
Technology exists for that, but the cost is phenomenal.
But they're talking about bringing it down so that it replaces the whole labor workforce.
We're a good 200 years away from that. If you can,
that's
You reckon?
so far
oh
away.
fuck yeah!
I don't reckon
What,
we're
you
200
pay
years.
a labourer a contractor $30 an hour to dig yourself a trench.
Nah, they're taught that like robotics is coming a long, long way.
The cost,
real
man,
quick.
the cost
Yeah,
for
the
that,
costs right now.
but also
yes.
technology. Like there are so many variables in a work site. I don't think the technology's
And-
there yet to be able to compensate for it.
Bro, an Apple desktop fucking 40 years ago could barely do what a calculator does.
You're talking about processing power.
And cost fucking the earth. Now it's $50 and you can get it from the fucking servo. In 10, 20, 30 years' time, we're going to be light years ahead of where we are. And I think we'll be a lot closer. It's already come into industry, even including things, and I've spoken about this before, mining, automation of vehicles. They're actually bringing out vehicles now that drive themselves and they're pushing for it to be standard.
Yeah, but what we spoke about was the fact that there's so many fuck ups because it can't read the variables. So
And this is where
the difference is it probably needs automation plus artificial intelligence.
So this is where I was like, this article actually went on and said, so they're writing an algorithm that when it does fuck up, it actually learns from it, rewrites its own code.
Yeah, that's
Artificial
And-
intelligence.
Yes, yeah, but like speeding up the process.
so
of the,
it has
the
to have an
artificial-
ability to learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If it doesn't have an ability to learn, then it only will do what you tell it to do.
Or only do what
So
it's
as soon as
programmed
you
to do.
throw
Yeah,
a
yeah,
new variable in, it fucks
yeah.
up.
And they're writing the code.
They've been doing that for years, though.
But they're making a lot of like a headway with writing the code of making things learn. And as we progress with all these things, I mean, say you set out to do, okay, we're going to make a robot that does fucking something for the military. Well, it's got civilian applications that branch off of it that dwindle down. And everything then over a process of time makes it obviously, the cost more effective, things like that. The cost will come down, and it will happen.
I can't see it happening in the next 100 years, at least.
Nah, I reckon way sooner.
No,
than
but
100.
technology will exist.
Maybe
but
50 years.
To be cost effective, I don't think it would be, because you're talking about not only the
They just put a man in space for a joyride, man.
do you know how much that cost?
Yeah, now
A
it costs
stupid amount of
actually,
money.
That's funny because I actually think space exploration's gone up in price, so that's probably not a good.
No,
fucking-
when they commercialize it, man, it'll boom.
No, but once upon a time, it was like just a fucking dick measuring competition between the US and Russia.
yeah, but I
See who
think
you can get to
yeah.
the moon.
Yeah,
Yes.
and now it's like, oh, well, a billionaire's doing it for fun. So
Yeah.
like
There you
that's
go.
the progression.
Yeah.
So
But we are talking about the span. When did we go to space first?
80s, I think.
No, I
don't
think it was
know.
earlier than that.
Man on the
70s?
Moon is in the 60s.
60s.
I think it was 68.
68,
think.
69, one of the two.
Something like that.
Well, I have
so
no idea. It wasn't a lot
we're
then.
talking about like 50 years ago, and that was just to have the technology to get out. That's massive leaps and bounds.
That's if it actually happened. Oh my gosh.
Well, 1969, July.
Thank you.
Boom.
There you go.
Done. So I just, in terms of technological advancements, where you're going to be cutting out a huge variable in process. So anything that's a rinse and repeat process is currently being replaced by robots. Like forklift driving will not exist in 10 years' time in large manufacturing facilities, and that's because
Yeah, but with that, other applications then suddenly become cheaper and become affordable. Technology into that then gets dwindled down to the next thing. So
yeah, but
it makes everything
it's not
cheaper.
across. You can't have that transfer over to another sector because that's not, into a sector
You
that's
can.
not a rinse and repeat process. So anything is just a motion being done where you can have taglines followed and you're on a flat surface and you're controlling the variables. If you go to a work site, every single work site is different.
So it's
100%.
got a...
And that's where the whole teaching itself technology will come into it. I
It
don't
has
think
to be AI.
it's got to be AI. There's no other way around. It's got to be AI, or it's got to be a snot-nosed kid that you're paying $25 an hour to hurt himself.
Nah, look, I think like it's going to be sooner than 100 years. I think it's going to be like 50, maybe even less. That
I'd say
Why have we not got hovercrafts yet?
We do have
we do have
hovercrafts.
covercrafts, man.
Not on a commercial. level, we can't.
I think you'll find that it doesn't become about affordability. It becomes about how much gas you need to fucking
You're talking about hovercrafts or hoverboards?
use.
Because hovercrafts are a thing for ages.
Yeah, no. Hoverboards is probably what I'm thinking now.
You think of Back to
I
the
want a
Future.
hoverboard.
Well, realistically, they do have a hoverboard. It's the bullet train using two magnetic fields to
That's
fucking
not a board.
hover
That's a
it.
train. It's in the name.
Yeah, but there's a fucking...
Yeah, but it's
It's a long inanimate
moving with
object
magnets,
that's moving.
man. It's like
It's
it's
hovering.
suspended with magnets. It's hovering.
There you go.
Yeah. Can you do it? Can it go over water?
Yeah, you can put a magnet underwater and then a polar opposite magnet on top. It'll still work.
You clearly didn't get that joke at all. Back to the
No one
Future.
does.
Back to
I'm
the
sensing
Future.
a theme
How-
here.
Fuck, my talent, my humorous talent is wasted on you motherfuckers.
It's obscure, is what it is.
Yeah, there is like at least 4 people that listen to this podcast
There is a
that
niche.
appreciate it.
I feel like that's the person who listens to us from fucking
France.
France. There's a
Yeah.
small town in France.
Shout out to the bloke in France, by the way. He's a fucking champion.
I do wonder if there's guys sniffing underwear while jerking off listening to this.
I do that every Tuesday.
What?
It's talking about weird dudes. Yeah.
I like
What sort of underwear are they
I put
sniffing?
headphones, like sound cancelling headphones on and crank it up as loud as it'll possibly go and then sniff my own underwear and jerk off while I listen to myself talk.
Jesus.
Whilst
the
the
fuck are we-
whilst two alligator clips are connected to his nipples on a 9-volt fucking battery.
That's how Ryan gets instant gratification.
Boom, done.
Done.
I didn't mean to hijack your next phase,
Well,
Caleb.
no,
but
Josh, that's fine because that actually helps
Yeah,
my
here we go.
It helps my argument a little bit.
Josh is fucking instant gratification.
Is that
Fuck.
Josh is fucking instant gratification? Or
That's
Josh
what-
is fucking, comma, instant gratification.
I knew exactly when this comes up what you're going to do.
Well,
I'm waiting. I want to hear
we
it. I
picked
wanna
this
hear it.
topic because it's your forte.
Yeah. I want to
Your
hear it.
forte is instant
Yeah,
gratification.
I'm going to have to go agree with Caleb on that one.
But-
You've got zero patience for...
So you know where I'm going to go, do you?
Or I knew you were going to go down the whole topic of,
Well, you
it's my
you're partially correct because I'm going to speak to you. So I say this hesitantly, but for those playing at home,
Well, Caleb's joined you,
Something-
and he has now lost all his fucking credibility.
no, all right. I'll rephrase that.
You can't take it
For
back.
those listening right now, I need to explain to you that something that Josh and I have had several discussions about is instant gratification. I've accused him of needing instant
Shenanigans.
gratification on many occasions, and it's generally around entertainment. Generally. So for
It is.
an example is a movie or a TV show where I'll be like, yeah, like that's a sick show. And Josh will be like, well, no, it was boring. I watched the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And there
you're
was-
guilty of that.
Yeah.
There was no murder. There was no sex scene.
I kind of knew whether this is like he was going to head down actually this sort of path because he's right. We've had this conversation multiple times. So we used to live together, and we'd recommend shows to each other. And I started learning that Caleb didn't like sci-fi. He fucking wasn't really into Iron Man and this and that, and he certainly didn't like Harry Potter, and now he's got a missus that does like Harry Potter. He does like it, but
No, I still don't like Harry Potter. I still do not like Harry Potter.
we used to have this long-standing thing where he'd recommend a show, and if I weren't engaged in the first sort of like minute and a half, 2 minutes, I just wouldn't watch it. Like like why would you sit through fucking and hope that it's gonna fucking tickle your pickle
Do you know,
for
actually,
2
Because
hours?
I'm with
some
you
of-
on that one.
Some of the best shows are a slow build. Like
No
they
fucking
just
way.
build and build and build, and they fucking like.
Do you
wow.
like the latest Joker one with what's his name? The weird name.
Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah, that is a sick name for such a shit movie.
No, it isn't because no one knows how to fucking pronounce his first name.
Have you seen it?
Is it Joaquin? Is it Joaquin? What is it?
Joaquin.
What's his fucking name?
It's French.
Joaquin Phoenix. Yes, I've seen it. Yeah, why?
Do you like it?
I like it.
It was the like an hour and a half of my whole fucking life wasted for 15 minutes at the end. It was shit.
Well, Now-
that is like the epitome of a slow burn.
Fuck, you say that, but then did you like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I haven't seen it. Once Upon a Time in Mexico is the bomb.
Quentin
though.
Tarantino.
I haven't seen it. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Is that the one with Chris Hemsworth?
No, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and I forget who else was in there.
I was got Margot, and that's why you watched.
I feel like you watch those movies just because it's a Quentin Tarantino movie.
No, I don't
And-
rate his shit mostly.
I don't
If
rate
anything,
it.
Quentin's like his opening scenes drag like a motherfucker.
But he does it on
Yeah.
purpose. So I listened to him on Joe Rogan and I actually got inspired because Joe Rogan is such a massive fan of Quentin Tarantino. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to go back and watch Reservoir Dogs. I haven't actually seen it. I went back and watched it. I'm like, what the fuck is this horse shit? Why is this a critically acclaimed movie? It's fucking crap.
Did he do Django?
Yeah. I love that movie.
Django's
was a great
amazing.
movie.
I like Django Unchained. I liked Inglourious Bastards. I love that
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
Fucking great. Oh,
It's
there's
like
a,
a hit
there's,
or miss.
there's a documentary on I think it's Amazon Prime.
About Inglourious
The
Bastards.
real Inglorious
Yeah.
Bastards.
Weren't they Native American?
No.
No?
No. Well, they were like Jews.
Oh, really?
Jews that one of them was a defector from the German army. Another one was a Jew that came from Germany that went back in behind lines to kill Nazis. And it's crazy. Not a single shot was fired, and they managed to have the Nazis hand over a whole town. Yeah, highly recommend it. The real Inglorious Bastards. It's a bit of an insight of the guys, just what they went through, man. And it, like the movie is sick, and it's like all action and stuff. But then you look like the guys are alive, telling the story of what happened to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then and it's
I've overlooked that so many times. I should watch it.
watch it. Like it's
Yeah.
I mean, I always judge it. Well, if there's not a cool picture on the movie, I won't watch it. But
Oh,
then
yeah,
this thing
fucking
came up,
instant.
and I'll just hit it to play in the background. And end up watching the whole thing. Yeah, it's good.
I mean,
Yeah,
so
might
what
have to do
what
it.
I'm saying is like, yes, I do get bored of things, but I have the patience to give something a bit to then get to the good stuff.
You have the patience to give it a few minutes.
Like, for example, I can watch cricket. You can't.
Cricket,
So
like,
what the fuck?
look, I know it's
You're
a
both
national
un-Australian.
sport.
Fuck off.
I know it's a national sport, but fuck me, there is nothing worse.
Do you know? I reckon.
But do you know what though? If
Wow.
you understood some of the nuances of cricket, you'd be able to sit there and watch a full
that
day
is such
of
a
Test
wanky
cricket.
word to use. You don't understand the nuance.
Yeah,
Oh, look, I'm not going to sit here and explain it.
I feel
all
like you're
because
trying to
it's-
jazz up hitting a ball with a bit of wood.
Yeah, but only every 35 minutes.
Yeah, and then every hour you might hit a wicket. with the
Anyway,
ball.
every real Aussie motherfucker out there who likes cricket, good on you. These two, I can't win.
Do you know what?
All right.
Do you know what?
Sorry.
We should start a backyard cricket league and then film that, and I would watch that.
You know, playing cricket in your backyard is awesome when it's rotated. When you're like rotating,
It's like fast paced.
Right.
Like 2020.
Yeah.
I would watch 2020. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm going to be a six pack in, but I watch 2020. But like a 3-dayer? Are you fucking kidding me?
There's no such thing as a 3-dayer. So that's
What's
just
a 3-dayer? What's when they play for 3 days?
a 1-dayer, or there's a test match which goes for 5 days.
Oh Jesus!
Fuck that. You know what? Rugby. That's where it's at.
I have never watched a rugby game.
What?
Sport.
I don't do sport.
Ryan doesn't do sport.
No, sorry. I
What?
play sport. I don't watch sport.
Fuck, I feel if people
Man.
knew this about me that I actually like sports, I might have got more votes. Anyway,
Nah.
Yeah, your
rugby,
campaign's too late, bro.
Rugby where it is.
Isn't there two different? It's like rugby and then rugby union or rugby,
Rugby
league?
league.
rugby league,
union.
rugby union.
What's the difference?
Oh, if I say this, people are probably going to complain, but there's very minimal difference. Very, very minimal.
Is it like the VFL and the AFL where it's like really the same thing?
I'll have to Google it, but
One's a bit older, one's sort of like a shortened version of it. One's got like scrums and bullshit, and they're very different. But they're the same. The objective's the same, but how it's played is different. One's like an abridged version, let's say that.
Well, that's it. I'd probably like to go to a rugby game.
One is a little
so
bit more
one's
traditional.
played with 13, one's played with 15 aside.
Yeah.
Drop goals and penalties. each worth 3 points in rugby union, whilst in rugby league they return
1 point
and 2 points respectively. There's really not a lot, like a little, yeah.
It's kind of like Test cricket and one dayers.
I kind of find it a little bit more strategic. You've got 2 lines and you've got to break through your line. So it's not just like
American
footy.
football.
Like, and this is going to piss a lot of people off because, we're South Australian, but footy I find like, yeah, okay, it's just everyone chase the ball and that's it. And that's what footy seems to be like. Like everyone just, like the ball fucking moves and everyone's just running towards it. Whereas rugby, you can't do that. As soon as everyone merges to a point where the ball is, it opens up for the opposition to come through.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that I used to. I don't watch football games now, but I used to when I was younger, and I think the way that they're played now is totally different. I think because there was rules changed and stuff, but I also think the dynamic of the teams now has changed because there's a lot of focus on the individual as opposed to the team. Like back in the day, you'd have the dudes like Tony Modra. I mean, I'm really talking about my ass
Jesus,
here.
you're speaking about the wrong team now.
Yeah. So, like, I just remember when I was a kid, like, you'd have these dudes and they'd do something sick and then they'd get credit for it and then everybody like, yeah, fuck, well, let's go back to the team. Now it's like the individuals are being singled out and they become the representation of what that team is in the media and like everything that
There's always been superstars within teams. What's different between Australian sport and American sport is in Australian sport, it's all about the team. In American sport, it's all about the individual. It's very different dynamic.
Oh, I mean, that's not the comparison I was making. I was like, purely anecdotal. Like, this is my experience. I don't know if this is actually how it is because I don't do sports.
Not
but-
really. Superstars have always been celebrated within sport.
Oh, not about the celebration, but it's like it seems to be that all of the headliners that I get exposed to as someone who's not like a diehard fan is it's not about, oh, look how great this game was. I don't hear that very often at all. I don't hear about the great like high flyers.
It's all the old fuckers of yesteryear saying the game's not as pure as it used to be and it's ruined and blah, 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 blah. The game
not from that.
The game is amazing. Like, it's the best sport in Australia.
I don't know. Well, I mean, to be honest, I've watched them play now and they do behave like a bunch of fucking pansies compared to how they used to.
But it's very different being an abject observer versus actually supporting a team, knowing all the players, knowing the ins and outs of their lives, their week, their training regime, their injuries.
Yeah.
Then that's supporting a team. So it's very different on the inside to the outside. Is all I'm saying.
I just don't think it's played at all the same way that it used to be.
It is the rules and everything has changed a lot from what it used to be. People used to play in positions and be in their positions.
Didn't they change the rules where they actually have to stay in their zones now? Like, it's a bit more enforced? Because at one stage,
a
it
centre
was
bounce.
fucking terrible.
It was. It did become more like rugby where there was this rolling maul and like you said, everyone chased the ball, but they've stopped that now. It has to be 6-6-6 at every centre bounce now. So they've trying to open the game up to be how it used to be and encourage scoring instead of everyone just running at the ball and stoppages every 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's good because it was that's what left me. I think it was just the fact that it just become like this, just mass mob of chasing a ball.
It's been better in the last couple of years than probably the 4 years preceding it. Anyway, we're getting way off instant gratification, Josh, and I feel like you're encouraging this talk about sport to deflect. What I want to ask you, in all seriousness, not to poke fun, is if you think there is a reason why. And I have my own theory, right? Why instant gratification in terms of entertainment is what it is for you and why you probably don't have the patience to give something a run.
Oh, that's pretty easy, man. One, look, without fucking like belittling myself, probably like education on one level, but that sort of gets squished because I'm actually a big fan of like docos and anything educational. So,
Well, in what way? How does
it just-
education affect your?
no, just like anything that's making me, unless I want to be sort of like, unless I'm in the mood where I want to learn, like if I'm watching a show for entertainment and it's making me think too much beyond certain guidelines, it sort of like I'm just like, oh fuck, it's too hard, whatever. Having said that, like Gone Girl, the movie Gone Girl, that made you think, and that was fucking dope.
Yeah.
The other thing is I think I don't actually watch war movies anymore at all. For a couple of reasons, man, because I find them frustrating. I actually find them hard to watch. There's only a handful of like war movies that I would class as good because they're accurate. It's just weird.
What are the movies that you think are accurate? War movies.
Look, Lone Survivor, a recent one's done pretty well. Saving Private Ryan's and Band of Brothers are always very, very good. I highly rate John Wick. Yes, the movie is Hollywooded up to the max, and it's a gun-toting movie. So you've got to be in the guns to watch that movie.
Side note, I watched the first one
Oh, because you hadn't seen them before.
by myself the other
Really?
night.
Oh, did
Watch
you
the
light a
movie by
candle?
yourself.
I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you see, you have to be a gun dude to want to watch the movie and like it.
Yeah, but they nail the
Yeah, but that wasn't enough. Like, I needed more than just accuracy on the
trouble.
firearm.
Yeah, the storyline
So-
in the first one isn't that great. The second one it starts to pick up.
It's
Now
not
you
a
tell
bit.
me.
See, to me, it's not about the storyline really, because it's about the finesse and the speed and the slow as smooth as fast in the whole reloads and everything like that. The second one is definitely better. It's something that you're not probably going to grasp until you've run a semi-automatic properly. Yeah, basically.
Was that a
No,
you said that with a straight face.
Yeah.
I mean, thank you for that thinly veiled insult. But
Yeah, that's right. Anytime.
So
look, I still found those sequences impressive.
Yeah,
but overall, as part of the whole
you
story, I'm
never
like,
ever appreciate it until you're doing it and trying to like mimic doing it that quick.
all right, well, I'll say the same thing about cricket then. So fucking shut up your ass.
Yeah, but I've
tried
tried cricket.
No, that's a no. That's a strong no from me.
Yeah, but I know what it is to fucking be well out of form versus practicing so much so that you see the ball like a fucking beach ball. So
Yeah, see, to me, like you think like a sort of like a gunfight's just, don't get me wrong. Yes, a gunfight. A gunfight's not messy, not clean. It's messy. It's not orchestrated.
it's not Hollywood.
But to
People
me,
fuck up.
in my head, it's orchestrated. So like every move to the point of where and the position of my feet, the position of my shoulders, my breathing, everything like that is orchestrated and pre-planned
That's your
in
training.
my head in advance.
That's your training. It is orchestrated because your training kicks in. Your muscle memory.
Yeah, it
comes
is,
into play.
but I mean, like to like Caleb, it doesn't seem orchestrated. To me, it seems orchestrated, and it seems when I walk into a room. So straight away, right now, I'm looking at Caleb's kitchen, dining room, hallway, and he's got 2 doors to the right and 2 doors to the left. Straight away, I'm seeing sort of like where fatal funnels are, where red zones are, where sort of like, and I see myself in my head, okay, I would stack up here to move there, I do this to do that. Whilst doing that, say if you're engaging and shooting your rifle, you're worrying about this is how many rounds I have left. Okay, I've got a stoppage. My stoppage, I can't look at my rifle because that then takes my eyes off of the imminent threat. So I now have to remember every inch of that rifle so I can get get the stoppage done, put the magazine back in, and put the working parts forward and re-engage whilst being accurate whilst looking for threats, whilst looking for everything else. There's a lot.
I think we're digressing a little bit here. The question was, why do you think that you need instant gratification?
Yeah,
Well,
that was a fucking weird
No,
digression.
no, I think this is good because I think that Josh is actually just highlighting why. Because he has all this high level training and he's seen shit that most of us haven't seen. So that's why I think that when it comes to entertainment, to engage your mind, and something's fucking boring, you're going, well,
Yeah.
Distraction?
I've seen some fucking hairy shit in my time. This is pretty boring in comparison. Like there's a desensitization, I reckon, that's happened.
Yeah, look, I agree. One of actually the big thing is explosions in movies don't get me anymore. They lose me instantly because they're not like that.
Or like you're talking about like the jump moments where there's like an explosion that's supposed to scare you.
Well, this is the other thing. Scary movies, do they really scare you? Because in my mind, I'm sitting there going, why aren't you? So the prey is like all scared and meek. But I'm like, why aren't you in the shadows?
Oh, they don't make sense. Yeah,
Like,
they do. It's like
why aren't you using the shadows for your advantage to kill this motherfucker?
Yeah, I think exactly the same way. You're like, if you're looking at the scenario and you're thinking anyone who's not a complete fuckwit would, like, in terms of just a little bit of common sense, would be like, don't go open that door. It's quite obvious that's
Yeah, see, when I watch a scary movie, I'm like, oh, here we go. Yep, this is the part.
predictable.
Someone's going to jump out right
Yeah.
now. Yep, and you're not scared.
There's cues, and there's the same methodology used throughout all the scary movies.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
and you can
definitely.
make that disconnect. You know, this is not real. What I'm watching is a movie, but you watch it with someone else and they're like freaked the fuck out and they're like holding onto you and fucking digging their nails into you, like scared by every scene. You're like, it's just a movie.
And Caleb's talking about me, by the way. Not his,
But that makes it harder because, like, especially as a male, you're like, well, hang on, how can I better this situation to my advantage?
I think
Yeah.
it's just your brain calculates things, and you can see outcomes. And if you're in a state of trying to survive, you're either a fight or flight. And then I think that comes down to also like that ultimate question of what you would do in that situation and how you'd respond, because no one really knows until they're in that situation. But everyone, that you sit there and you watch the movie, and I mean, you would know, Josh, because you've been in those situations. But for the average Joe who's sitting there watching it going, oh, why don't you just do this, or I would do this, or I would do that, like, you don't actually know how you're going to react until you're in that situation. And then even then
Yeah, but like, this is the thing. Training prepares you for a lot. Not everything, but a lot. One of those things is just breaking things down real slow and into phases, and then just overcoming them. You're breaking them down into small segments in your mind, then gives you the space to correct them and then move on to the next, and then so on, so forth. And then suddenly it just becomes...
it's not as overwhelming.
Yeah, it's quite easy. I don't get... Like I said, just back with explosions, explosions aren't like that. A lot of the explosions in Hollywood, they're filled with like acetylene or some sort of flammable gas to make them burn up and fucking do all this fucking magical shit. Don't get me wrong, there are explosions out there. If you're dropping like red phos or white phos or something like that, there's stuff out there that fucking burns and it's cool. But most small scale explosions are real fucking anticlimactic.
They're what? Just mostly percussive.
Just, yeah, it's like a fart.
Yeah, well, because it's not supposed to look good. It's supposed to cause damage. So
Yeah, it's
There's
fucking
not
terrible.
fire involved.
It might be like this tiny little flash and then just like, like it's terrible. Don't get me wrong, you can get they do have explosions that are like crazy, but like the amount of munitions that you have to use to cause something like that, yeah, it's a lot. And it certainly isn't happening from like, I don't know, old mate's grenade that just fell out of his pouch onto the fucking floor, suddenly blowing up a building. Nah, that's not happening.
unless you're in Hollywood.
Anyway, I mean, so long story short, I do understand your need to have something dramatic happen earlier rather than later
But
to
you
grab
know,
your attention.
I'm sort of in a similar situation there, for reasons that would obviously differ. But I
think you overanalyze shit. That's my
I
theory.
I need
that's my theory.
intellectual stimulation in that sense. I don't like I don't consciously make an effort to do that, but my brain just does it. So I'll watch something and there's like a predictability element that will come into play, but also if it's not stimulating me to the point of trying to figure out a puzzle and trying to figure out what's happening next or understand a storyline or try to put pieces together, then it's just a no.
Yeah, this is why I like thrillers or unique concepts. Like stuff like
Yeah.
Avengers, I fucking fall asleep and get bored because I'm like, this is so fucking predictable.
But I like that because that opens up like the fantasy side of things. So I don't if the Avengers didn't have the CGI and the landscapes and all that sort of stuff, like to me that's just an alternate reality that's different from our own, and I see that environment, and that's the stimulation that comes.
Yeah,
from
but you
that.
get to like the fucking fourth one, and it suddenly just becomes repetitive, man.
I can't watch the new
You know,
Spider-Mans or anything like that because
no.
it's all the same shit.
Yeah.
Like
The only one
they're
that
so
I actually liked, and I believe that it was good for the comical factor, and that was I haven't got sick of Guardians of the Galaxy.
no, that's a great.
Oh, yeah.
Because-
great movies.
like, I mean, Chris Pratt's character is just, it's just
And
funny as fuck.
I did like Thor Ragnarok because it had a comedy element.
And a lot of the Marvel stuff is taking that on because they realise that actually it's a good formula. People
Yeah.
love that shit.
Yeah. And look,
when
like
it
the
tries-
whole Tony Stark thing or Iron Man was great for the first few because it was funny, because it was new. But then they belt fed the same jokes for like way too long. It was like,
And Fast and Furious just shut that shit down.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
done.
yeah.
Do you know what? I
Sorry, Vin Diesel, but bruh,
we've had no-
you made your millions. Time to
yeah, but there's
fucking-
people that lap that shit
I
up.
don't know why though. It's
Probably car enthusiasts. I'm
like
assuming.
in the last one, spoiler alert, they fucking put a car in space. Like
No,
yeah, I
it's just-
heard that. When I heard that, I'm like, yeah, nah.
like fucking duct tape a fucking
It's just like extreme
suit to themselves
So-
and they're in space. Like what the hell?
For me, if I'm watching a movie and there's just there's like pushing the bounds of reality for Hollywood, and then there's just shit where you're like, yeah, no fucking way, man, no way.
to be honest, flipping that car over the bridge in Fast and the Furious 9 or something, they flipped like this I think it was a Shelby or something like that over this bridge as they were trying to chase a tank or some shit. And I'm like, like at that point in my life, I'm like, yeah, I realise I just wasted fucking many hours of my life that I'll never get back. Like the first few were great. And what's his name? Paul Walker.
yeah.
He was an amazing actor, you know, and really good for the first few. But sorry, you're sort of like, yeah.
Oh, it's not about racing cars anymore. is it?
Back then, it was about like a car scene, like the tuner
Yeah.
car scene,
Yeah.
like hotting up cars and skylines and all that shit.
Well, it was cool because the original movies were based around that, where you like they had details on the cars and the motors and all, like the illegal shit and that sort of. It was quite
They're
well
about
done.
cars.
Yeah, and now it's
Yeah.
just like
What the fuck is
the
it
government wants us to flip a car over a bridge to catch a guy that is a bad person.
I'll tell you who still, even though I find it incredibly frustrating because he plays one role, and I know every time I watch a movie it's going to be the same role, and that's Dwayne Johnson. Like,
yeah,
I fucking will watch anything that he's in, even though it's the same role, and I just go in expecting. I'm like,
Oh, he plays the same
yeah,
dude.
look,
Yeah.
it's going to be the same guy. But you know what? I'll watch him because he actually seems like a cool cat.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Super weird, but
Cool. All right. Well, we didn't get deep there, but no, I just wanted you to speak a bit about.
So I don't
Your
think you
reflection.
even answered the question. Like, why? Why do you need instant gratification?
Well, I posed the theory, and Josh sort of mentioned it.
Look, I just like to get hard.
very quickly.
Yeah.
I think the whole instant gratification thing is just in line with what you said is stimulation. If you're bored for whatever reason, then your brain doesn't like it, so you need stimulation.
As I said, a lot to get hard. That's
Cool story, bro.
yeah. Anyway, let's finish that.
Whoa.
And let's move on.
Is that on your Facebook profile?
I like to get hard.
Yeah, this is Josh,
I don't have Facebook.
ex-military, likes to get hard.
I wish I was hard.
Jesus. All right, let's move it on.
ND.
Indeed.
Negligent discharge. Who's got ND?
I do. Simple one this week. So I went camping on the weekend, took the Dale up the river, just a couple of nights away, some nice weather.
Some pickies that you sent through. You look quite nice.
But did I? Oh, I posted a story.
On the
Send it,
gram.
mate.
Yeah, true. Well, I took more photos. Anyway, I have a problem with people who own fucking drones. And I've just turned to my left and Josh is picking his nose, trying to put me off. I'm going to call him out for it because he's a tool. Now, yeah, like, so I'm sitting in camp one night. We've got a fire going. We're sitting down, enjoying the ambiance. Next minute, zzz, like, what
Morning, night.
night,
Night.
time. All right, look up in the sky. Probably 50 meters in the air, 20 meters away from where we're sitting. Just sitting there, a drone. And the Dale's like, is this the government spying on us? I'm like, no, it's the fucking cockheads 50 meters down there in the campsite. Why is their drone just sitting there above us?
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I'm like, fuck off. So I'm like,
Maybe he was getting some mad lit fucking photos.
it's just sitting
Yeah, he
there. I'm like,
probably
yeah, but
was.
I don't want to be in those photos. Like, fuck
Whoa.
off.
no, that's an invasion of
It
privacy.
is. I feel like, one, it's annoying because it's making
so
a
that's
noise.
invasion of privacy, but the government fucking doing a COVID passport's not invasion. Oh, okay.
I
I don't have
never
to
said
have
that
a
wasn't.
passport. I don't have a passport. He had a drone. I don't have to have a passport.
I'm looking at a physical threat, right? So what did I do? I'm like, I went and grabbed my high-powered torch and I shone it at it. And it sort of like moved and then I kept shining the torch at it. I'm like, surely the brightness of this torch, he can't fucking see anything to know where he's navigating. And sure enough, that made him fuck off. But then he's flown back to his campsite, back then up the river and parked himself on the other side, just above me. I'm like, fuck this. So again, with the torch, shining it. So why?
It's a very camp mum thing to do.
That's a-
torch, I would have grabbed
No,
a
that's
stone
a-
and
that-
tried throwing it at it.
I would have
If
swum
I had a
across the fucking
shotgun, I
river.
would have fucking shot the thing.
Man, I'm definitely that would have rightly pissed me. I would have
It pissed
swum
me off.
across
So
the river
one-
and gone into their campsite and go, what fucking cunt is driving that fucking drone?
Okay, tell
Jesus.
I would have torn
That escalated.
That
their
escalated.
fucking campsite apart because that sort of shit is just not on.
All right, so in that
Not
campsite,
fucking on.
in that campsite, there was about 4 dudes.
Yeah, fucking come at me, bro. I'd have smashed them all.
He talks a big game, ladies and gentlemen.
So
Yeah,
I,
I'm also enormously large and rage like a motherfucker. Those cunts are fucked.
I sit there and go like, you know, okay, is that annoying or is that campsite getting plastered till 4 o'clock in the morning annoying? Is there any difference? Just
Nah,
going.
dude.
Well,
I think-
I can deal with, you know, a bit of noise from, you know, someone playing some music down there. But when it comes to flying a drone over my head with a camera looking at me, fuck off.
Yeah, that's totally different than someone just having their own party and being a bit noisy because they're keeping to themselves essentially. They're not coming over and invading your fucking privacy, whatever the fuck you want to call it, your bubble. So if they're intentionally coming and disrupting you and then looking at you and they take
I-
photos,
I
you
get
don't know
that.
what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
or who
you
I
they
get
knows
are.
what
that.
they're
Like, you know, fly it somewhere where there's not a campsite.
How
I
about
get
just
that.
don't drive a fucking drone out in the bush?
Actually, this comes to a funny thing because we're all going to go away soon. I might get a drone and fly it
I will definitely break that while you're sleeping.
Like
I have got a pet hate for people that fly drones in areas where you go out just to get away, and then there's some cunt fucking flying a drone around because that little
Jesus.
thing. Oh, it is like it's struck a
fucking
nerve. man.
Ryan's dropped the C-bomb like
Struck
3
a
times
nerve.
in a minute now.
Because these motherfuckers are like, oh, I'm getting the fucking little drone out. I'm gonna go. Oh, look, I'm looking at you. People don't want to be looked at, motherfucker.
Correct.
Just
Like,
stop
so
being a dick.
I don't.
Be
I
a
don't,
responsible drone owner. Go down to the park like a normal fucking person, and don't go look at other people that are trying to have a campsite.
I didn't realize I was going to open Pandora's
this is-
box here.
I'm quite I'm wound up. I'm coiled like a cobra.
All right, I'm glad you're on the same page. Like I've been fishing on a jetty, right? Hundreds of people on a jetty. Maybe not hundreds, maybe 50 people on a jetty. Some dickhead decides to get a drone out and just fly it up and down. And I'm like, why? We're all enjoying a nice, peaceful fish.
Why wouldn't you fly out to the ocean and
Exactly.
then back to the...
Why do you feel the need to post like? And I'm just sitting there going, this is just footage. Oh look, I went on my Rapid Bay holiday and I went fishing, and you spent 2 seconds fishing and fucking 3 hours flying a drone and annoying the shit out of people who are all like just on camera giving you the finger. Why?
We'll have to keep
Why?
this on record just in case we, Senate mate, decide to go fucking video and film
No,
our
there's a
hunts
difference
with
between
There is a purpose
having-
for drones.
Drones are a great invention for the appropriate application. Going and looking at people that you don't know, that is a massive fucking no.
Yeah, I don't like
And
that.
killing
but,
Taliban in the Middle East.
But
Yeah.
yeah. I do
From the Ohio desert.
talk about drones. I do actually want to get a bait casting drone.
See, that's a great
See,
application.
there you go. There's you're not
Do you know
invading.
what?
You're invading a fish's privacy, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's shotgun rounds with nets and like drone.
Yeah,
caps.
man.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
spent many an hours like
Yeah.
after because I had the similar experience. I went away down the coast and there was no one. Like there was no one within a good 5 Ks, and out of nowhere there's a fucking drone that came out.
Exactly.
And it wasn't like there's a drone coming. It just like popped up from behind the bushes and then it was probably about 15 meters in the air, and it was just looking at me through these trees. Oh, it did the old, one finger salute.
Correct. Yep.
And then it's just sat there for 5 minutes and then fucked off.
This is the time you want to have a shotgun on you and point it
Yeah.
at it. If it doesn't fuck off,
So
then shoot the fucking thing.
if you're in a public place in SA and you can't take a firearm, you just take a slingshot with you and just fucking.
But that's quite hard. What
That's
I'm thinking,
still illegal, but
I
okay.
wonder if you
No,
could make.
slingshot with an arm brace is illegal. A slingshot without an arm brace is not illegal.
Somebody has fucking
Really?
investigated.
I've read my law.
I wonder
Yeah.
if you can get like a device that throws an EMP, like directional EMP,
Oh, good God.
because then the thing would die, crash on the ground. I just fucking take it. I'd be like I'd be the drone hunter.
Oh, what's that movie? The Good Boys. That fucking drone gets taken by the girls. Yeah, the Good
Oh,
Boys.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Good boys.
Yeah, the Good Boys.
You can say the good boys as many times as you want. It doesn't change the fact that I don't know what you're talking about. It's like saying the same thing but louder.
All right, you want a good laugh?
Watch
Watch
the Good
it.
Boys, Ryan.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a drone in it.
The good boys. No,
There's
I don't know what that
relevance.
is.
There's
The good
relevance.
boys. Yeah. Okay.
There's relevance.
Watch it. You'll be instantly gratified.
You will.
Instantly.
That's terrible.
Well,
Oh.
now that we've got really rolled up and Ryan said the C-bomb 50 times in the last 5 minutes of the podcast, it's probably time to end it.
I'm fucking Peppa Pig, cunts. Yeah.
Oh wow.
All right. To be fair, we did start the episode with that.
It's been a very cunty episode.
There's been at least 6. Should I say it too, just to fucking round us out?
That
Please,
makes
because then
7
there's
fucked
no
up cunts in
editing,
this cunt up Ryan.
and then we're good. Well, there's one phrase that needs to be edited. That's it.
Oh, God. Why do you give me so much work? Anyway. Well, I'll wrap it up. Peace out, cunts.
Done.
Oh.
I think that's the first time you dropped the C-bomb.
No,
Yeah,
there's
podcast.
definitely not.
No, I've done it before.
He's done it before.
Mostly in protest to you two doing it. But anyway.
All right, dude and dudettes, that's it for another episode of Send a Mate Podcast.
Tell your friends, tell your mum, tell everyone. Go give it a listen.
Josh is hard.
Hit us up on Instagram, Send It Mate Podcast. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Gotcha.
Peace.
Getcha. I love you all. You're not cunts.
Peppa Pig cunts. G'day, dude and dudettes. Josh here. Do you find it hard to keep your long, hard barrels free from gun STDs? Maybe you need a clean out of your bore. If this is you, jump on over to highcaliber.com.au and use the promo code SENDITMATE to receive a 10% discount on all your gun cleaning needs. And remember, it's sexy to support Australian-made products. Everyone here at Send It Mate uses High Caliber, and we can promise you that it'll keep your firearms free from those pesky gun STDs.